It's Monday. You know what that means. Time for another episode of the Flex Zone podcast. Continuing your March Madness mayhem. And of course, still celebrating Women's History Month. The Flex Zone crew back again. Episode 433. The Feds did a sweep. If you know, you know. We'll talk about it leading off the show. Sweet 16. How sweet it is. In the NCAA tournament. Of course, the NFL free agency, a new rule has been passed. We'll talk about that. We got Goofies of the Week with Cravante. Of course, we'll talk about the NFL free agency and a very illustrious guest as we continue celebrating Women's History Month. You guys are in the chat right now. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Please hit that bell. It's the Flex Zone Podcast, episode 433, the Monday night main event. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Coming to you right now on the Flex Zone. Okay. It's the Flex Zone Podcast. I don't know. I guess the intro isn't working today. It's one of it is Monday. It's Monday. The Feds is cutting off everything. They're cutting off my Wi-Fi. They might be at my door. I don't know.
Y'all started talking about Diddy before the show. This what happened.
Y'all leave him alone.
This what happened.
I told you I'm not leaving him alone.
It just threw my whole spiel off. I don't even know what I was about to say, but I am a trained professional. The Flex Zone Podcast, episode 433. Only place giving you sports how you want it, fellas.
When you need it.
We're talking about the Feds and that boy with many names. We're talking about March Madness, Sweet 16, NFL new rules, Goofies of the Week. A lot to get to. MLB Opening Day, can't forget that as well. We're going to get to that and so much more. A very illustrious guest as we continue celebrating all the beautiful, wonderful, ambitious, productive, professional, intelligent, goal-oriented women who are part of the Flex Zone family and talk some sports, talk whatever we want to talk with them as well. She's returning back to the Flex Zone, so she's no longer a guest, so she's going to be unfiltered and bringing that heat as she always does. But make sure you guys throw up your ones, acknowledge the Head of the Sports Podcast table, follow us at the Flex Zone 1, follow us on Twitter, Instagram at the Flex Zone 1. If you're watching us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, they threw off my spiel, so I'm going to put that up in a minute. But make sure you go over to the Flex Zone Podcast on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Big things coming soon. We got WrestleMania a little over a week away. We're moving through March Madness, Orioles content, NFL draft profiles, a lot to get to, and we'll do it here with you on the Flex Zone Podcast. God's favorite host with the most, back again, episode 433. Bad and lead off. It's our social media producer. It's the one and only Big Raj, and I know he's loving what he's seeing from his good friend, the Diddler. Big Raj, what's going on?
No bread, no water.
The Diddler, wow.
Finish him, Daddy.
And I'm pretty sure Diddy heard that plenty of times when he was doing his Diddler-like activities. But this is your boy Big Raj in the building. I can't wait till we talk about this topic. I'm pretty sure we have a lot to talk about tonight.
This next brother, he's always the Commandalorian. He's always conducting the charge. He is a voice of reason. He is the captain of the Goofy ship. He is a co-founder along with Drizzy Dre, the one, the only, Cravante, Bay. Make sure you salute the brother.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders.
Man, listen. Put it off.
Come on now, say it with me. Everybody beats the Wiz.
On the win streak, baby. It's a good week, Cravante. The Wizards are winning. Roger's getting discounted pizza.
Whoa. Dre's getting the discounted pizza too. He put me on.
Yes, right. Dre, they're just the new Orioles. Remember the Orioles sucked and you got the promotion no matter what? That's
the good old days.
I guess. Y'all continue to do the goofiness. Please, by all means, continue. Raj, when Byron played your sound, it almost sounded like finish him, Diddy. Man, listen, man.
That's the sound that Bubba's going to be making to him. But I'll leave that alone. Yeah.
Man, it's another Monday night in the man cave. Let's get it going. Let's get to our guests. Well, one, we gotta get to this topic too, but let's get our guests going. Let's get this first segment going because I'm finna be laughing through the whole thing because y'all stupid, especially you, Rob.
I'm about to go rob something. Y'all know me. I'm dangerous.
Last but not least, it is the Flex Zone Messiah, the head of the Flex Zone table, the tribal chief, who we acknowledge, the co-founder along with Cavante Bebe, the pride of the East Side, Savior Misbehavior, Mr. 25-8, Mr. Still Your Girl, the dean of Morgan State University and Ball So Hard University, the one, the only, the super producer, my boy, my brother, Drizzy Dre. You already know what time it is, brother.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, it's always a good day to be around my brothers, but not a good day with somebody that I like a lot in hip hop.
Well, let's get to it. We're going to start this topic off. We're going to bring up our guest. She's going to give her insight. We're going to get the woman's perspective. We're going to get the Flex Zone perspective. We're going to get your perspective. Make sure you comment and make sure you guys go ahead over to the Flex Zone podcast on YouTube. If you haven't already, it's going to be on the bottom of your screen momentarily. Check us out. Go ahead and show us some love. But Raj, let's start with you, brother. We talked about this earlier. I'm going to read the press release in a second. Your boy Diddy, you call him the Diddler. His Los Angeles and Miami homes have been raided by federal agents. This is from ABC News. They were raided by federal agents on Monday, according to authorities. Homeland Security, not guarding the border, not worried about China, at Diddy's house. Homeland Security investigating P. Diddy after an ongoing investigation, as law enforcement says there's a search warrant executed in Los Angeles as his sons were detained outside the home and they were being goofy, dancing and smiling like it's cool to be in handcuffs, kids. Don't do that. As in, they were released without charges. Earlier today, Homeland Investigations in New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles and HSI Miami and local law enforcement partners. We will provide further information when it becomes available. Sources familiar with the matter said the searches are being carried out to hip-hop producers' properties as part of a federal investigation. No criminal charges have been filed, of course, and according to Combs' lawyer, pretty much it looks like this stems from a December complaint by a Canadian woman identified as Jane Doe, who was sex trafficked and apparently R-worded in 2003 when she was 17 in 11th grade. This comes from Combs' former Bad Boy Entertainment president, Harv Pierre, an unnamed third defendant, as they were among the people accused of the acts as well. So, Raj, let's get your thoughts, man. This is a heavy topic. 2024 is the year of exposure, as we call it. How are you feeling about this with your arch nemesis Diddy?
This ain't really funny. This ain't really a funny topic. This is really, I mean, I'll be honest with you, this is kind of really, really sad. Of course, we all grew up on Diddy's music here. I mean, he's been around for I think since the early 90s, since 91, 92, when he was at Uptown Records. And then he started Bad Boy in 94 with Biggie and Craig Mack and Mary J. Blige with him as well. I mean, Diddy's a staple in hip hop music. And he's always been around. He's always been, the party guy as per se. But over the years, I mean, we had questionable, things to say. It's from Big and Pac dying, their beef, and the incident with Sean in the club, and and him being accused of some other things, and of course his artists like the Locks and a couple others saying they stole money from him or whatever, and he's always been like that controversial guy that always seems to Diddy bop literally his way out of things. And even when he was with Cassie, it was a little bit weird back then as well. You know what I'm saying? Because it was one of those situations where is a older guy with a younger lady, but that's neither here nor there. But for all this to culminate to this point, to now that he's being exposed from his former bodyguard, Gene Deal, giving out information about what used to go on back in the day, to the record producer that just put a lawsuit on him from his last album, from where he was doing certain things with him as well, to Cassie putting out a lawsuit on him about the stuff that was going on behind closed doors with her and some other people. I mean, it's just quite sad, to be honest with you. It really is. And now the feds are raiding all of your houses at the same time. That is no coincidence. That is that isn't something that that we did not see coming. I mean, Cat Williams said it best, man. He said, "This is the year of truth. This is the year of exposure." And
you got to tell him no.
you got to tell him no when he asks you to party. And and it's not, like I said, it's not really funny. It is really quite sad, but yeah, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure what they're going to find in his house, or what they're going to, discover. But whatever they find in his house, man, it's not going to be good for him. It's not going to be good for a lot of people. I heard earlier today that a lot of people that partying with him or around him or associated with a lot of these acts, they might need to really lawyer up, like right now, like seriously, because there's going to be a lot of people that's going to have a lot of things to say. You're going to see a lot of snitching going on. You're going to see a lot of people cooperating with the feds, and a lot of people are going to get exposed off of this. Like this, when Diddy goes, if he goes down, he's taking a lot of people with him. So just be prepared to hear some of your favorite rappers, some of your favorite people, some of your favorite important people just being a part of this nonsense. Because yeah, man, this is ugly. This is going to get really ugly really, really soon. And it's just a damn shame, honestly. But also it's not surprising, just because, like I said before, just the way that he's been living his life and, been able to get away with a lot of things over the years, just diddy bopping and sliding away from things, and not being with stuff is not being talked about behind closed doors. But I'm gonna leave you with this, and I'm gonna pass it on along. I think I was listening to Jason Whitlock one day, and he said something that was very profound. He said that usually when people get found out, they gather a lot of evidence on you, and they gather a lot of evidence on you, but when you don't want to play the ball, when you don't want to play the game, when you don't want to give in, that's when they turn against you. So Diddy did something to somebody that's higher than him, and right now he's gonna feel that. So yeah, man, this is it for him, sadly.
It's funny how things work, Ravante. I want to throw this at you too, and you can touch on it. Trying to scroll through my television program, and I see they also have the Nickelodeon Dark Side of the Kids acting special on TNT right now, which I did watch this past weekend. You saw Drake Bell come out and expose Nickelodeon and their crew for what they were doing with their lewd child humor and stuff, and the essays that happened on set and those types of things. I mean, a wild time, Cavante. What's your thoughts, man?
It's crazy how you could mess up somebody's present and somebody's past at the same time. Because I tell you, the shows, the people, the music, all the stuff that I grew up on and loved and cherished and laughed at, and all that good stuff, and it's slowly destroying what I grew up on. There was not a time in the 90s, any part of it, where I did not hear something made by Diddy on the radio. It just didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's similar to another brother that's in jail for doing some wild stuff. R. Kelly. R. Kelly's another one where it's like, yo, every graduation, we were singing something from R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? At every milestone of my academic career, we were singing something that was related to R. Kelly. And it's like, and like when you say with Quiet on Set, Nickelodeon, we all grew up on Nickelodeon. And now those same actors that we grew up with, laughed at, not laughed at, but you know, they made us laugh. It's like, yo, they're adults now, and like all this wild stuff was happening, and it sucked. It sucked, and it's very, 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 very sick. Now, Diddy, and similar to R. Kelly, we saw the signs a long, long time ago. Long time ago. And it's like, it's the what's the the old saying, Dave, it's time. It's time to reap. It's time to reap what you've been sowing for the last 30 years, and it's coming full force. When the feds come out, they got you. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how many houses you got. We hitting them all at the same time, so you can't do nothing crazy and jump from one house to another, because we know Diddy got cribs, and hit them all at the same time. It's like, yeah, it's bad. It finally hit that mark where it's like, yeah, we got enough evidence. You're going down, absolutely going down. And back to Quiet on the Set. It makes you think how many others, because you know he had like we all know Drake Bell, you know, from like Drake and Josh and all that. What other stories are there? And it's like, yo, as innocent as I was watching the shows, they were innocent as well. And it seemed, and at some one point or another, they were taken advantage of being as children, and that's never okay. Never okay. Now, obviously, there was something that went wrong as far as like communication and parenting is concerned, but nonetheless, whoever dropped the ball, the kids suffered. And now these kids are adults, and now they're coming out and saying all this and that. People gotta pay for this stuff, man. People have to pay for this stuff. And you know, we go on social media and it's all jokes. And I ain't gonna lie, I laughed at a lot of this stuff. But I mainly laughed because this is stuff that y'all already knew. And now, because he pissed off the wrong person, now it's like, all right, now he has to go down. Because like, it's a joke. This is all a joke. Because it was all well and good when he was doing the wild stuff. But now, like Raj been saying for quite some time, he done pissed off the wrong person. Now it's not cool no more. So it's the next couple weeks, not the next, but probably next couple years for Diddy is about to be ugly between now and, you know, his sentence is going to get pushed. He's going to appeal. You know, it's going to be a long, drawn out, dragged out. It's going to be a long process. And it's going to be ugly. They're going to smear his name. But what's crazier is that I cannot wait to see who else goes down with him. That's what I can't wait for.
As we watch The Rock whoop Cody's ass in the Versace vest, I know Roger enjoying that. Drizzy Dre, how you feeling, brother? Let's get your thoughts, man.
Well, you know I always enjoy anything that The Rock does, man. But
he's giving Cody the old real quick. I gotta, you know, it's only right. Yeah, for Diddy too.
That's for Diddy too.
Get him off the screen. You know, I'm not gonna spend much time on this. You know, I'm gonna leave it up to our guests. You know, first it was R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and now Diddy. You know, people who are prominent figures in the community, in the culture, have all gone down, been exposed. And for Diddy, this isn't good. The feds have a 95% success rate. So it's rare in order if you can beat the feds, then you can damn near beat anything. But he ain't beating this. I don't even know what all that happened except that yeah, I mean the Ciroc was cool, but I told you I'm gonna miss that tequila, man. And that Deleon was my drink. But I mean, if Diddy's doing the stuff that they're accusing him of doing, then hey, it's like y'all said, it's your time, brother. Like I said, Kelly went down, Cosby done gone down. Diddy, it's just gonna be your time if so. But other than that though, like I said, I'm gonna give it over to our guest and let her have her time.
Yes, sir, Dre. Let's do that. Let's bring up our guest. She is back here in the Flex Zone Palace. She is helping us celebrate Women's History Month as we do nothing but illustrious guests here. She is an illustrious guest back with us, as I mentioned, part of the Flex Zone family. She's no longer a guest because it's the second time. You already know how we go here on the Flex Zone podcast. She's unleashed. She's unfiltered. She's going to give it to you raw, just like you like it, Raj. We know you like it raw. As we watch Monday Night Raw, I don't see her terrible towel, but I'm sure it's not far from her because she's going to be waving it because I know she loves all the moves that they've made in free agency. She got baseball season coming up. One of her teams might be one of the surprises. A lot to get to with this guest. We don't want to belabor it any longer. The one, the only, the chocolate writer herself, Miss Sharon Mullen, is back in the Flex Zone podcast. Everybody put your hands together for Miss Sharon Mullen, everybody. Back on the Flex Zone. What is going on?
Glad to be here. Yep.
We are glad to have you back. How you feeling, first and foremost? It's been a while, but it's good to see you. You always on the show, comment. We appreciate the love.
Hey, I've been doing pretty good since the last time I was here. Thank you so much, fellas, for having me. I'm very excited to be back. Love your show. I watch it often. Often. You guys have some very interesting perspectives on things. That's what I like. You always give me something to think about that I never thought about. I'm like, let me write that down. Think about that.
We appreciate you being here. Before we get into the Diddy stuff, because we'll let you leave with that. How can the people keep up with you? Any social media, anything you want to plug you got going on?
Well, yes, I am the chocolate writer. I deal in communications and PR and social media, digital marketing and writing. If you need my services, just head over to my website, thechocolatewriter.com. That's writer as in writing. And then I am on every Tuesday on Talk Your Ish Tuesday, every Tuesday on YouTube and Facebook at 8:00 p.m. every Tuesday, talking sports with my fellas, Inner Thinkers Podcast, King Czar and Ron Thomas. And every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time on The Side John on Facebook and YouTube. So I do a lot of podcasting, and shout out to Stay Tuned. Sometimes I do Stay Tuned as well on Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, talking sports and culture and lifestyle, things like that. So I'm everywhere. Mm-hmm.
Well, we appreciate you taking time being here. Shout out to the Ignorant Thinkers Podcast. Make sure y'all check them out as well. How you feel about the Diddy situation, Ms. Mullen, especially from a woman's perspective? We'd love to hear what you think about it. We know you love Diddy as well.
Well, listen, all I have to say is that I'm glad, it's not me. I don't have feds at my door, so I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm good about being here. When I heard the news flash across my phone, I didn't want to believe it. I followed his whole career. Absolutely loved him all this time. And you hear things, right? But it's not like I'm in his private circle. How do I know if all this stuff that people say is true? And let's just face it, there's a lot of reasons to be jealous of him, right? So there's a lot of reasons people would want to put stuff out there about him that's not true to try to ruin his reputation. And I'm always thinking about that. I am never quick to believe what somebody says about somebody else. I don't just believe it just because you say it. It's just like Kat. I'm one of the few people who know he didn't tell the truth about everything he said, y'all. I'm sorry. And some of it's been debunked and some of it is not. Some comedians immediately didn't say anything, but now some comedians are coming out saying he wasn't telling the truth about some things. He got some things wrong. And the more and more I hear, the more they're saying that. So I'm just not going to rush to judgment. I know Raj is like, he going down. It's over with. But, you know, and I saw somebody posted, Jaguar right. She tried to tell us. I told you she was right. Y'all don't know that she's right. It doesn't mean that everything that bride said was true just because the feds came. They haven't told us. They haven't said what they found. They haven't said what evidence they have. We still don't know if what she said is true. We just know his butt's in trouble. We don't know what he did. It could be anything. And this alleged sex trafficking. Do y'all know that sex trafficking is $150 billion billion, not million, $1 billion industry across the globe. $150 billion sex trafficking, human sex trafficking. It's a huge problem. And I live in North Carolina. North Carolina is one of those states that has a high rate of human sex trafficking. I didn't know that until recently, doing some research. Florida, North Carolina, Maryland, Indiana, New Jersey. Those are the states that I saw. And then there's others, but those are some, they have an enormous rate of it. So it's a big problem. So how do I feel about it? I'm really upset about it because, like someone else was saying, in the 90s, you couldn't hear anything that Diddy didn't touch. He touched everything. And nobody did things the way he did. He created a whole new sound. Then he came up with a whole new style of videos. I don't know if you remember, but when you look at his videos, the ones he did, especially with Mace, like Been Around the World, and there's another one, More Money, More Problems, I think. And when they're in the camera and they had the close-up camera and it looks like they're in a tunnel and they're coming up close to the camera and back, and you see you know what I'm talking about, right? With all the flashy, shiny shoots and stuff. People started that. He started that. And then people started, imitating. There's the copycats after that, but he started that. And I don't know. It's part of my young adulthood. I wasn't a child then. I was a whole grown woman when he came out. And I just was crazy about him, his story and everything. And so I never believed all the stuff that I was hearing. I just said, well, that's just that Hollywood talk that I don't really get into. I don't get into celebrity gossip anyway. So I never take it that seriously. But when the feds are coming, I know about them feds. Now, I do know about that. Not for me personally, but I've seen them take down other people. And it's not cute. Yeah, it's not cute. I'm pretty sad.
Apparently, they're saying Diddy, real quick, is heading out of the U.S. Apparently, his private jet has left the U.S. But fellas, you can go ahead and get in there. I'll probably bring it up on screen so you guys can read it for yourself. But yeah.
You said his private jet is leaving the U.S. So
that's what they're saying on the interweb. I don't know if it's true. Like Miss Mama said, it could be alleged. Well, I don't know.
I heard that he left and then it came back or something. Yeah. We don't know. It's just like anything else. It's going to be all these rumors.
Agreed.
Because
agreed,
how is
agreed.
his jet gone and he's standing down at the Miami airport? I mean, I literally saw the video of him standing at the airport. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Who
very
knows?
interesting things.
All I know is this is the wildest time I've ever seen in my adulthood life. I mean, we didn't seen a pandemic. Well, yeah, we didn't seen a pandemic. We didn't seen R. Kelly go down. Now we're seeing Diddy's house being raided. I just want to know of course, then President Trump, former President Trump had to pay over what 464 million, but now he got it reduced to 175 today.
Oh, they're gonna pay that for him. They paying that for him. They raising that money tonight.
Tonight.
Like Bernie Mac said, tonight.
And just like you said earlier, Byron, with the Quiet on Set documentary that's on TNT right now that you can literally watch. I mean,
cool,
this is
bro.
the
I'm
this
cool,
is the
bro.
this is I seen it all. I watched all 4 episodes. I seen it, and the piggyback. I mean, I grew up on Nickelodeon too, but yeah, man, I understand. I understand what you're saying, Miss Sharon. I understand you don't agree with everything that you hear because it could be some lies in there. Of course, everybody's not telling the truth. I'm pretty sure there is some lies going on with the Diddy story with people suing them left and right. But I mean, I'm to the point where I believe if there is smoke, there is fire. Now, I agree that everybody's not telling the truth, like I said before, but everybody has something to say about you, though. Like literally, almost everybody that's had a past with you have something to say. I don't know, but I'm gonna say this: if he does get charged with something, okay, if this goes to trial or whatever, if they find something in that house, there's only gonna. I mean, if somebody has to testify in court, like a Usher or a Gene Deal or just somebody in his camp, it's just gonna get ugly for him. Like I don't want that for him. I really don't want to see that. I don't want to see other people get dragged into this. I'd rather not know your business. I'd rather not know what you do behind closed doors. I don't want to see that.
Right.
But if that comes to pass, we done seen with the Fannie Willis case, all the goofiness that was going on with her and Nathan Wade. I don't want to see that with P. Diddy or anybody else. But like I said before, man, this is like the actual first step of what's going to happen. It never is good when the feds raid your house. It is never good, especially when they conspire and all at the same time, like the Matrix. They're all going at your house, and then they got your kids outside with handcuffs. That's not a good look. It really isn't. And I know the neighbors were like, "What is going on?"
That's traumatizing, yo. That's traumatizing.
Why they not going? Like where are they coming from? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it isn't a good look for him. I hope the best for the brother, but yeah, it's not good at all. It isn't.
Well, yeah, it's ugly. Sucks to be him right now.
Did you watch
it's like to be
Quiet on
his
Set?
kids right now, man. His kid has to suck right now.
Did you watch the Nickelodeon special, Sharon?
I hadn't heard about it actually until yesterday, and I have not seen it. But I'm recording the episode that's coming up next. I'm gonna record it and try to watch one of them tonight since everybody's talking about it. Because I raised my son with Nickelodeon. We watched everything together. I love the Nickelodeon shows. Okay, you couldn't keep me from watching Kenan and Kel. I was all up in that, and all that Kenan and Kel, the Rugrats, every day. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're talking about.
Well, I'm gonna just say this: when you get to episode 3, you're gonna really feel uncomfortable when you get to episode 3. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Really, you're gonna be like, oh my god. So I'm warning you right now. When you get to episode 3,
see,
like, oh my goodness,
this is really difficult for me because I've lived through a lot of things. A lot of decades. I'm on my 5th decade, right, of life, and so I've seen and heard a lot of things. And to have people coming forth now to talk about things in the past from my childhood and my early adulthood, it just makes me feel like, dang, has my life been like, was it fake? Or was it real? You know, you start to question. I know I lived this life, but dang, did anything that I liked back then, was anything right? I mean, Bill Cosby, that whole situation. I still don't believe some of that stuff, but okay. I mean, that right there, you can't even celebrate the man without people having an issue, let alone R. Kelly. And you know, that dude, he seriously is the king of R&B. I don't care what nobody say. He's probably one of the most gifted and talented artists I've ever seen. Only thing is, he just can't play all the instruments. He can play some. He plays more than people know about. But he was I guess I have to just finally admit that he had some tendencies that were not safe and not good. I'll just say it that way. You see, it's still hard for me to even talk about it because that's how much I loved R. Kelly. I had all his music. I had it from way back when he was with Public Announcement. I remember when he first was on what was the name of that? BET. What's the name of that show?
You talking with Donnie Simpson?
Yeah.
Video music.
Video Soul, was it?
I think it was Video Soulless. I think that's what it was
Yeah.
called.
I remember when he was on that and when he first appeared on 106 in Park. I remember both shows. And I don't know. I followed his whole career, but I don't want to keep belaboring the point. This is tragic. And the moral of this story is, if you don't want anybody to know what you're doing, keep your crap to yourself. Don't tell anybody. You can't have anybody. It has to be a solo deal if you're going to do something, because somebody's going to talk eventually.
Or as we learned in Freaknik, somebody's going to record.
Man, do you see Uncle Luke is like, y'all think y'all got away. I got more footage. Have you seen that video?
Yes.
He's like, I got more footage. He's talking about he's going to release all this stuff. I'm like, I'm so glad it wasn't me.
Again,
I'm so glad it wasn't me too.
I felt like y'all were going to ask me, have you ever gone to Freaknik Machine? No. You will never see Sharon's face on anything unless it's photoshopped in, because I did not attend. I'm so glad. Yay. Bless my mom and daddy. They kept me safe.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, let's go from one thing that's low down to your Pittsburgh Steelers, Miss Mullen. They've had an eventful and productive, and dare I say, transformative offseason to reshape their franchise the way they needed to go. You guys were 10-7 last year, made the playoffs with Mason Rudolph. You get Russell Wilson, which we kind of all maybe saw that coming. You get Justin Fields for a box of Girl Scout cookies. You take Patrick Queen from the Ravens. And you still may not be done. They're talking about possibly Tyler Boyd is linked to the Steelers. I mean, still got a nice pick in the first round, in the middle of the first round. I mean, Mike Tomlin is still there. They're riding with Tomlin. We're riding with Tomlin. We love Mike Tomlin here. How are you feeling about this offseason? And the draft is a month away. You still got a lot of great things coming. I know you got that towel somewhere. I'm waiting for you to wave it. So Raj can.
I'm gonna try my best not to wave the towel. It's sitting right there. You're right. I always have it nearby. But I'm very excited about this offseason. I'm looking forward to this next season, even more so than last season. Last season, I was very disappointed in Kenny Pickett because I really believed that he was going to take a jump, forward. Didn't do that. He actually regressed. So it was clear that we needed another quarterback. We knew Mitchell Trubisky wasn't the answer. We shouldn't have even kept him from last season. Mason Rudolph, we shouldn't have kept him from 2 seasons ago. That's how I feel. I felt like when Ben left, we should have got somebody else then. We actually should have gotten a quarterback before Ben left. 3 years before Ben left, that's when they should have drafted a top-notch quarterback somehow or traded for one. But we didn't do that, so we're here. To me, this is what I'm going to say about my Pittsburgh Steelers. The moves that they have made, I can tell that they have been like surgical, like well thought out. Omar Khan seriously understands what's needed on the team, I feel. So I'm very encouraged. I wasn't that impressed with him at first. This season, I'm liking what he's doing. I'm picking up what he's putting down. So I'm liking what he's doing. That move, getting Patrick Queen from Baltimore, brilliant. Brilliant. I'm so excited about that. To me, that is the biggest deal for me. We got him from Baltimore. I can't stand them Ravens. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to say that. But yeah, that was the biggest deal. And the fact that we got rid of Deontay Johnson, you know, some people were like, he's good. Why you get? No, he was a cancer in the locker room. He had a bad attitude and he was lazy. Because from what I'm hearing, he did not want to put in the work. And that was part of the problem that George Pickens was having with him. But see, he's not going to throw his teammate under the bus, right? So he didn't say that. But that's what the real deal was going on in that locker room. They had to get rid of him. So I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad that we got Deshaun Elliott. I'm a little bit good on it. He came from Carolina, though, and, you know, nothing good comes out of that team, really. So
former Raven, too.
Jury is out, but we did need somebody at strong safety. We did. We needed that. And I'm going to say this about Russell Wilson. These last 2 seasons with Denver were not his fault. I believe the man could still ball, like Super Bowl quality ball. And I believe that Mike Tomlin will bring that out of him. I believe that he wants to prove that he can still play. And he understands you have 1 year. Because if he can't make it playing for Pittsburgh Steelers, you can't make it anywhere. Because Pittsburgh will give you everything you need to succeed. And the defense is set. They've filled in all these holes. And you can't win with this team. You got 2 great running backs, a tight end, and 2 pretty good wide receivers so far. And I'm sure they're going to get another 1 or 2. That's what they're focusing on right now, the wide receiver room. So you got all these weapons, and they got to get a center. We got to get a center, though. I mean, we lost our center a couple of seasons ago, and no one that we've tried there has panned out. So we got to get a center. Left tackle is a little iffy too. So we're going to get that done. But he can run out of the pocket when he needs to and make things happen, right? He's going to have to do that. He's going to have to channel some of his Ben Roethlisberger and extend the play. He was a master at that. And Russell needs to just be able to do that too. So I'm excited about him. I'm excited about Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields.
Get a clear of
I just don't understand. I don't understand why people don't like
beautiful as
Justin
always.
Fields.
And yeah, I definitely like getting to know you. And
I don't know.
it is awesome that
Byron,
you do
like
that.
it. Byron, what are you doing? Hit the mute button, brother. Go ahead, Miss Sharon. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was out of turn. I'm sorry.
No,
But,
Byron was. I don't know what Byron was doing, but
My
I
bad.
don't
My
know. Oh, it's okay. I don't know why people don't like Justin Fields. I don't know why they can't see what I saw in him. But I've heard a lot of people say he's terrible. He was a bust already. I don't see that in Justin Fields. I just think he just needs some coaching. And I think he'll learn behind Russell Wilson. I don't think Russell will have any problem mentoring him. I don't think he'll have a problem doing that. This will improve his legacy if he does that. If he carries this team, makes a difference, 1, And 2, he mentors and coaches up or mentors up Justin Fields. You know what a legacy that is you're going to leave? And you're doing it with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This might be his last team before he retires if he plays his cards right. Wouldn't you want to retire as a Steelers? Shoot, who wouldn't? Legendary. The greatest franchise on earth. Hey, wouldn't you want to? I would. But anyway, so yeah, I'm excited.
You know what?
Glad we got rid of Kenny Pickett. I'm gonna say that because he had a problem. He asked to be traded. So Mike Tomlin always said, we don't hold players hostage. You don't want to be here, we'll send you away. And that's what he did. Yeah.
You know what, Miss Sharon?
Mm-hmm.
It was a bittersweet ending for my Baltimore Ravens last year. I'm still feeling the effects of the choke job that we had in the AFC Championship game.
It's okay.
But you know what? I hate to say this, but I have to give the Pittsburgh Steelers some props here because they've been awful all year long, and they, for some odd reason, they made the playoffs. They found a way, quarterback or not, they found a way to get there. They beat us twice, like they always do. They always find ways to.
Where that broom at? Where my broom? Do I need to get the broom? Can I get my broom?
You can get the broom. You can get the broom.
Get it off. Go ahead, get it on.
You can wave the towel. You can do all that great.
I'll leave my towel.
But no, seriously though, y'all have been masterful so far in this free agency process. I did not see Patrick Queen going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I did not see that coming because I thought the beef between him and Mike Tomlin was actually personal, but it really wasn't. He just wanted to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. I get it, or whatever. But it was a great job that he did that. Y'all even got it for a good price as well. I mean, my goodness, hats off to the GM for that. Getting Justin Fields was masterful as well. I'm with you on that. I think Justin Fields going down, maybe not this year, but going down the line is going to be a great player for you guys. I mean, he has all the qualities. He does everything that a top quarterback can do. I just thought he was in the wrong situation. Putting him in Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin gives him a great chance of succeeding and becoming the quarterback that he's always supposed to have been with the Bears. Getting Russell Wilson to train him for a year is brilliant, in my opinion, because one, you're not really paying him anything because Denver is paying him most of his money. So that's a beautiful thing as well. Getting rid of Deontay Johnson was a great thing because he was a cancer in the locker room. He was doing stupid stuff, from what I've heard. And, of course, we already know that the Pittsburgh Steelers draft really, really well when it comes to wide receivers. You can just put me in there, and I'm going to be a great wide receiver for you. But, yeah, man, Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to be tough. They're going to be extremely tough. We already can't match up with them at most years. So having that option with Justin Fields or Russell Wilson at the quarterback position is going to be great. Patrick Queen, solid linebacker, learned from the best, and Roquan Smith is going to finally get his chance to, lead the team. Well, maybe not lead the team, but be with J.J. Watt, learn from him. And, they can be a tandem together. And it gives them another chance to actually compete in this great division that is the AFC North against the Ravens, Browns, and Bengals. So I gotta give hats off, man. I gotta give hats off. I can't hate on this, even though I really want to. I really can't hate on it. Y'all did y'all thing so far. The draft is coming up. They're going to draft some great wide receivers. I already know you're going to draft a great wide receiver in the first or second round. I already know that's coming.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be one of those years where it looks like, damn, we had a chance to actually get a Super Bowl, but now it's going to be even extremely tough for my Baltimore Ravens to even probably get out the AFC North. So hats off to the Steelers. Hats off to the Steelers. Hats off to the Steelers. Y'all are doing y'all thing.
I'll take it. I will take it.
Man, this is wildly surprising. Because it's like everything was so quiet. It's like the Steelers quietly won 10 games, quietly backdoor went through the back door of the playoffs, and quietly got Russell Wilson, and then quietly got Justin Fields. Like, what is really going on? And I think you are absolutely right, Ms. Sharon. And Russell Wilson, this is a legacy shifting move, because we already knew he was a Hall of Fame quarterback with the Seattle Seahawks. The last 2 years with the Broncos, to forget about. These are years to forget. He had he really and truthfully, he had a head coach who should not have been a head coach. And Nathaniel Hackett actually should not. He was in over his head from the very beginning, and it showed. And one thing I always say on this show, when you're having a rookie head coach with either a rookie head coach with a rookie quarterback, or a rookie head coach with a guy who's new to a team, basically a rookie to this team, it usually doesn't work out well, because it's too much learning going on for winning to happen, like that. And then so he gets fired. He didn't even make it through the season. He gets fired, and now it's like, well, now he's gone. Now it's all on Russell Wilson. And here comes Sean Payton, and we all know the rest. So him going to a cornerstone franchise such as the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's going to cater to what he needs instead of forcing him to become whatever Sean Payton and them was trying to do, and just having them play football. Mike Tomlin is one of the best leaders we have in the game of football, in this NFL game. Not the best coach, he's the best leader, one of the best leaders of men that the NFL has to offer at the head coaching position. And he finds a way to, one, hide a lot of flaws. Because, I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Deontay Johnson, the running back, he was able to still sustain success through all that goofiness that was going on. And that is very commendable, because you know how they treat us, how they treat the black men. You know how they do. And he's still finding a way to overcome all of that. So along with Pittsburgh being a cornerstone franchise, he is also a staple in said franchise. And this probably is the best spot that Russell Wilson could go to. And not saying like he may not retire a Steeler or none of that, but this is one of the things. This is one of the turning points that you can look to and like, all right, Russell Wilson, now he can go into a positive direction in closing out his career, and he got a young guy to bring along with him, because again, he only signed a 1-year deal. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's gone to a calm organization, a patient organization, and one who I feel like listens to their players more than most. And so Russell Wilson will have a better year this year than the last 2 years with the Broncos. And Justin Fields is going to learn a whole lot. The only thing I don't like is that I'm not sure about Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator. I'm not sure, because the offensive line has not been up to par. You talked about the center and the left tackle position. It has not been great. Russell Wilson is small, so he's going to do a lot of moving in the pocket, and that's what made him so great in Seattle, was that he was able to do all those things. He's a little bit long in the tooth now. You know what I'm saying? So Arthur Smith is really going to have to put something together to make sure Russell Wilson is be able to be upright for this season. So, Arthur Smith's task is, number one, get the offensive line together, and two, have Russell Wilson continue to do what he does best, and that's move. Russell Wilson was never a purely pocket quarterback. He moved,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and when you stop doing that, you get Denver Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great situation for him, and for this 1 year rental, I think it's going to be significantly better than the two at in Denver, and again, it's going to benefit Justin Fields in the long run as well.
I agree. I agree with everything you said. I really do. I believe this is the best move for Russell Wilson. I don't know where else he could have gone that would have been a better place for him, actually, than the Steelers. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a Steelers fan. I really believe that the combination of Tomlin and Russell Wilson is going to be excellent. I'm going to say this about Arthur Smith. He was a better offensive coordinator than he was a head coach, though.
True. That's
the only thing that I'm hanging on to. I'm trying to overlook the disaster in Atlanta and just say, I'm going to focus on his last OC job. He did a pretty good job with what he had. And so I'm going to take that and I'm going to look at that and try to remain hopeful. And so that's the one reason why I believe Russell's going to be successful. The second reason, as I said, he's got Mike Tomlin. Do you all know that Mike Tomlin wanted Russell Wilson when he left Seattle? But he couldn't pay Russell. See, he couldn't take that contract.
Sure.
That's the only reason, right? And what I secretly know, they talked. They weren't supposed to, but they talked. And they're personal friends. See, that's the thing. They have a personal relationship outside of the NFL. And he wanted him. He told him that years ago before his contract was up. And so that's who he had his eye on then. But he couldn't get him. So when this all happened and it was clear he was not going to stay at Denver, I wasn't saying this to the fellas on my shows. I just kept it in here. But I said, I believe we're going to get him. I believe it. And I just never would say it. And I was hoping for it, and we got him. So I'm very happy.
So let me ask you this then. All right. You said you wanted Russell, and then there were rumors about wanting Justin Fields. Now, you got both of them on your roster. Moving forward, which quarterback do you think best fits the Steelers to get back to another Super Bowl?
I actually feel Russell Wilson's talents and gifts fit our scheme better. I really do, especially if we don't shore up that offensive line. Justin Fields, he doesn't read the defense as well as Russell Wilson can. And that's key, especially if you cannot always count on your line to protect you. You got to be able to at least know what's going on so you know where you need to scramble to. And I always go back to Ben. Big Ben was excellent at that. He could make something happen out of garbage. You would just sit there thinking the play is over, and next thing you know, he's snuck out and ran over to the sideline and made a pass. If he can do that, I think he'll be fine. Hopefully he won't have to do that often. Hopefully we, through the draft and some more signings, we can get somebody that can, protect him. But I believe Russell Wilson would get my nod on that.
Russell, his time in Denver kind of reminds me of McNabb when he was in DC. Just a bad coach. They're winning coaches, but just not a good fit for them. That's what kind of reminded me, especially Sean Payton. I didn't like what happened with Sean Payton in Denver. And I always say that for that, I hope that they don't win moving forward, because I just didn't like the treatment, how Russell had it. And I was a person that I thought Justin Fields was good for Chicago, but it looks like they're going to move forward with Caleb Williams.
I believe their coaching staff didn't know how to use him, didn't know how to develop him. I think this is more of a, um, it's revealing more about the coaching staff than it is Justin Fields, right? I think these football analysts out here that are saying all these negative things about Justin Fields, I believe they have it wrong. And Sharon has it right, to be honest with you. And if you agree with me, then you have it right. I believe he's much more talented than he's been given credit. He reminds me of Jalen Hurts. You know, even when he got to the Super Bowl, people were criticizing him.
Yeah.
He was the reason that they were even there, and they still didn't want to make him a top 5 quarterback. They still wanted to say Josh Allen is better. They still wanted to say all this other stuff. And I'm like, this man, I'm watching the game. You cannot tell me that he did not perform this year as a top 5 quarterback. But you heard it all season long. And so that's how I feel about Fields. I believe he's going to surprise some people. I was wrong about Kenny Pickett, though. So, I mean, hey, when you talk sports, you give your opinion, you stand on it. Sometimes you're right, and sometimes you're not.
So what were you wrong about Kenny Pickett? Because I know for me, I said this many times, even when we were talking about the draft to Byron, especially several times, that I thought Pickett would be really good for Pittsburgh. He had a winning record. I know the offense numbers don't say it, but he was winning though with the Steelers, 14-10 record when he was with you guys. So what do you feel you were wrong about Kenny Pickett about?
Well, first, I was not following him that much in college until the second half of the college season before he got drafted. And then my university, Michigan State, played his Pittsburgh in a bowl game. And so I got to watch him in this bowl game command his team like a seasoned vet. They almost beat us behind his surge down the field. Now, we did intercept him late in the game. We did. And because of that, we did end up winning the game. But he put together 2 masterful series before that to stay in the game, stay in there with us. And so I was watching him and I was like, he has a great, style, confident style. I like to see that. He didn't seem to be spooked by anything. Even though we were sacking him and chasing him around, he was calm and he was accurate for the most part. So when we drafted him, it's part of the story. Pittsburgh guy, he wanted to play there. Here he comes. Okay. So I thought that having his small hands don't matter. It was a big deal about how small his hands were. I think he was either the first or second smallest hands in the league. I don't care about that. I don't care about the hands. Then I thought that he just struck me as somebody who seriously wants to do well, and he was going to seriously work on film and study and ask for advice, seek out people and all that. That's just the impression I got when they showed the coverage of their OTAs and so forth. I was able to watch like some deep behind the scenes video of them and hearing him talking with the other quarterbacks, talking with his OC, talking with his wide receivers, all of that. And he just seemed to get it. So his rookie season was his rookie season. It was ups and downs, but I could see potential in him. I felt like he was slow to read the defenses, but I felt like as this first season went on, he got better at it. And he calmed down and got more accurate and threw fewer interceptions. So I expected his sophomore season, is what I call it. I expected him to take a step forward. because I felt he had the talent to do so. He didn't. It was very disappointing. And I had to admit that I guessed wrong. That's one of those guesses I got wrong. And I had to let him go. You know, it was very hard for me because I really believed in him, but no.
You don't put some of that on the offensive coordinator that y'all wanted.
Oh, no. But okay. I didn't mention that because everyone knows he was horrible. Okay. Everyone knows that he was horrible. So I didn't even think to mention him. But I will just for the record, you're absolutely right. Matt Canada was terrible. The years we were there, we couldn't even put together 300 yards of offense. It was crazy. He didn't make any changes. He did not make any adjustments properly. He did not use the people. He did not use his players in ways to get the best outcome. I hope I'm saying this right. It's like he would call a play. He'll call a run play when he should be passing and pass when he should be running. And if the pass game is cold, you need to rely on your run game. If you're ahead, but you're barely ahead, you rely on your run game so you can eat up the clock so they don't have a chance to get back in there. That's what you're supposed to do. Your offense is not as good as your defense. So let the offense go in there and waste some of the clock. The defense is going to stop them. They're not going to have enough time. I even know that, but that's not what he did. He kept not doing that. I didn't understand it. And I was really mad at Tomlin because I was like, now, Mike, you know he's not any good. You know you need to let him go. And it bothered me that he let him come back one more year. And I said, Mike, you're being cool with a guy that you respect, and I get it. Don't let this man make you lose your job, because the Steelers haven't fired a coach since 1969. Okay? So you can't do this. You know, I was so mad. But we finally got rid of him. And after we got rid of him, we were able to win and make the playoffs. And that's what people are not wanting to realize. And can I say this one more thing about the Steelers and Mike Tomlin? Mike Tomlin, to me, is one of the greatest football coaches ever in the NFL, head coaches. And I don't believe he gets the respect that he deserves because he hasn't won a playoff game in 7 years, right? And that's what everybody focuses on. He hasn't won a playoff game in 7 years. Who cares if he's never had a losing season in 15 seasons? Who cares? I care. Because if you don't have the right personnel to get over the hump, and you can make magic out of the teams that we've had, then you're a damn good coach. There's no way in hell the last 5 seasons we were supposed to not finish last in the AFC North. There's no reason why we should be finishing first, second, or third in any of those seasons, but we did. And we have the longest streak of not finishing last in the division in the NFL. And we're not going to finish last next season either. So I'm just like, I just want to say that about Mike Tomlin. When people say it doesn't matter if you don't get to the big game, yes, it does, because it shows that this man can truly coach. If you give him the players that he needs all together at once, we going right back to that Super Bowl.
Well, you do know why Mike Tomlin is one of the greatest head coaches, right?
Because he acts in the offseason. He does a lot of acting jobs in the offseason.
No, it's not.
No, a whole lot of acting.
You know why, Cravante.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
I don't know where you're going. Where are you going?
I know exactly where you're going.
One that acts like he doesn't know, but he should know. Just
why?
Like
because of where he went to college.
You just need to acknowledge that he is a part of the greatest fraternity
No.
known kind as Kappa Alpha Psi, because what we do is we achieve, and that's what he does. And that's why Mike Tomlin is who he is. one of the greatest head coaches, like you said, of all time, because he has turned what has been garbage teams and made them playoff teams. Even last year,
Yeah.
there's no reason that Mason Rudolph should have taken that team to the playoffs, but yet Mike Tomlin has been able to do so year after year. And I'm happy also that even though I like Kenny Pickett, that they went away from what the Pittsburgh Steelers normally do, and that's a very traditional organization that's loyal. And you guys, I mean, you got two different quarterbacks. You got a new offensive coordinator in there. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are showing that they're willing to change with the NFL. And I like it. Yeah, even though I'm a Ravens fan myself, but you got to respect the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, and you got to respect the job that Mike Tomlin has done over the years.
Thank you.
How you feel about? Go, Raj.
No, you go, Byron.
I was just going to ask how she feel about the hip drop tackle rule, real quick.
I think it's just making the game softer. It's a kitty cat league. That's what they're doing. I think they should have kept it in there. That's it. I mean, I have nothing else to say. I don't even understand why. Is this really going to save people injuries, y'all? Really? Are we going to see a drop in injuries just because they got rid of this tackle?
No.
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying.
No, they went on some statistic talking about it's a 20% more chance or something like that. I'm like, this is dumb. And they like, I've heard analysts, former players, and then I was even watching the Pat McAfee show, and nobody's really happy about it at all. And then they can't, because they don't practice anything anymore physically, it's going to be hard to get really any action on how to really get this right unless it's preseason games. And then that the first Karate, what you say, the first month is really like that test run.
Yep.
So it's going to be a bunch of penalties called between the preseason games and then especially that first month of the season. So it's just going to be a total disaster. I just hope that this thing doesn't affect a playoff game, because you can't challenge this thing. And I don't think that you can even have replay for it either. But I know that Tom Morello was saying on ESPN today that you cannot challenge this at all.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
It's going to cost you 15 yards if you don't get it right.
To me, this is very hypocritical of the owners. They're saying that they're doing this because they care about injury. Yet they still have a Thursday night game, and they want to extend the season for them to play 18 games.
Oh, what's going to happen at 18 games.
Yep.
But they care about injuries. No, you don't. I don't really know what the motivation is for banning this tackle, but it's not about injuries.
I know.
If they cared about injuries, they would not have all this. They would have gotten rid of the Thursday night game long ago, and they never would have extended to 17 games. It was just ridiculous.
I know the motivation for why
What
they.
is it?
It's because they want to keep the quarterbacks upright. They don't want to see things like what happened to Aaron Rodgers, happen again. Especially when you're on Monday Night Football, and the first hit that you take, you're out for the. They don't want to see stuff like that. So they were trying to eliminate a lot of illegal tackles or illegal hits or whatever, and get that out of the game so we can have more offensive like games, down the stretch. Maybe 40 to 45 or something crazy like that. They want the offense to dominate more than the defense, because offense gets the ratings up. That's the whole premise of why they're banning a lot of these tackles.
Yeah, but that's so crazy. Legal hits can cause injuries. Legal hits can cause injuries in football. It's football. That's it. That's just where I stand. And I don't like the way that they're softening up the game. I'm a Steelers fan. Of course, I want to see a hit.
I do too. I'm a Ravens.
The Ravens too.
We grew up on it.
Yeah, we do.
We like that.
AFC North, we don't play around. We don't play around in that division.
That's why I hate playing y'all, because we already know it's going to be physical.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Yo, Byron, your jump. You on?
There we go. Real quick to baseball, Miss Mullins. Opening day is this week. I hear you're a Cincinnati Reds fan,
I am.
and as an Orioles fan who's gone through many years of suffering, we're on the up and up. The Reds, with De La Cruz last year, one of the best young players in baseball. They probably could have made the playoffs last year, but kind of fell off down the stretch. Are they going to win the division? I mean, looking at the Central, they might be the favorites. Got the Cubs, got the Pirates. The Brewers just gave us Corbin Burns, so they ain't winning it. How you feeling about the Reds? Are they going to be the surprise team in the National League?
I think they're going to be a surprise. I don't think they're going to win the division, but I mean, we didn't do well at the end. So I'm expecting us to finish in the top 3 or 4, but I don't believe we'll, win the division. So we'll have another mediocre season, I think. I'm not that encouraged, but
you should be. I'm telling you now. Remember that.
I'm just not yet.
About 4 or 5 months. Just remember I said y'all going to be pretty good.
Okay. I believe you, because see, for me, baseball is more difficult for me to predict. I have to watch it for a long period of time and look at the numbers and blah, 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 before I can decide, okay, they're a pretty good team.
Look, I'm with Byron. I think that the Cincinnati Reds, I think that they'll actually be a really good team this year. But since you're a Reds fan, I got to ask you about the days of the Big Red Machine.
Yes.
Now we got Ohtani with his gambling issues, and that's still to be worked out. But Pete Rose, I've said for years, I think that Pete Rose belongs into the Baseball Hall of Fame. What are your thoughts about Ohtani and his issues right now with the gambling scandal, and does Pete Rose belong as a Hall of Famer?
First of all, I was surprised about the gambling scandal. I just never heard anything like that. That much money? I'm just like, I don't know. But somebody is trying to imply that Ohtani, that he knew about all this. And I don't believe he did. I just don't. But then again, this is me. I don't, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, and you can tell I don't believe much of anything people say about folks out there. So I just don't believe it. I have to hear more information on it. I'm sorry it happened to a guy. He seems to be a nice guy. All he needed somebody.
He rich. He got 700 million reasons why.
Yeah. But I mean, he just needed an interpreter. He trusted.
But if somebody wires someone at your account, Sharon, you would know. Let alone a couple hundred million. You would know what's going on.
If you got that much money and you're not used to having it, and you're not used to paying attention to it, I could see him not knowing. I could see that.
They claim that he thought it was a legit just loan to this guy, but
right. I mean, I can see how he could be duped into thinking that. I really do. I mean, hey, we'll see. But about Mr. Rose, Pete Rose is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. And I'm going to say it, and I don't care what anybody says. He really is. I watched that man in person play that game of baseball, and that man could play that game. He knew everything about the game. I honestly believe he could have played any position on that team, including pitching, because he was baseball. That being said, his behind needs to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. They have let people in that have done worse. That's just how I feel about it.
I agree.
He bet on baseball. He got punished for it. He's been out here. He's been embarrassed and run through the muck all these years. Now it's time to say, okay, you paid the piper. Go ahead and we'll let you in the Hall of Fame. We're going to honor you for what you did for the game of baseball, because he did it. He did it better than anybody else. That's it. That's how I feel about it. I didn't always feel this way, mind you, but I feel this way now.
So what was the change of heart for you?
I'm sorry?
What was the change of heart for you?
Because of the time. And as time went on, it seemed like the Major League Baseball media started to try to sully his name even more outside of the betting scandal. And I was like, wait a minute, no. And then, as time goes on and these millennials and other people come up, all of a sudden they don't remember what happened way back then before HD. You know what I mean? And so all of a sudden, he wasn't all that really. Look at this guy over here. He's done. No, he was a beast. He really was. And yeah. And so I started saying, you know what? No, we need to have him solidified in the Hall of Fame because people need to know what this man did because it was amazing. And they'll never know if he's not in there. And I believe that it's not fair. He's paid the price.
Well, I tell you, the only Hall of Fame he's going to get into is the WWE Hall of Fame. But,
Probably.
But
Probably.
Honestly, though, I mean, Pete Rose, the steroid era, baseball is just hard. And like you said, they put some people in there that have no business being in there for some of the stuff that they've done.
Oh, yeah.
Baseball is just so hard-nosed with their stance on certain things, like Pete Rose not getting in. Like I said, anybody from the steroid era, they're just not letting those people win. But you made money off of these people and had no problem exposing them, using them for every last blood, sweat, and tears that they put into the game. But when it comes time to honor them, they just not withholding their end of the bargain, which I just don't like.
Yeah, I don't either. I agree with you 100%.
Real quick, I want to ask you about the NCAA tournament, men's and women's. Are you keeping up with it, and what are your thoughts on it?
Yes, I'm keeping up with it.
I know Michigan State went down this past weekend.
Well, first of all, it's been really interesting that everybody's bracket got messed up in the first games. Some teams just did some upsets and messed everybody up. And then, of course, my Michigan State Spartans. First of all, let me just give a shout out to Coach Izzo. 26 straight years in the NCAA tournament. That is a record, and that's my coach. So Tom Izzo, you are one of the best. So I'm going to say that, and I'm very proud of him. That being said, we beat Mississippi State, then we lost to UNC. I live 7 minutes from UNC.
Oh,
I had to hear these people talking about beating the Spartans. I didn't want to hear it, but they did. They beat us. What can I say? It's UNC. I mean, they tend to be there in it, them and Duke. I can't believe Duke is still in it.
Hey, no, don't be surprised. And
don't worry, Miss Mullen. That tournament's about to be over. They got Houston.
Right.
They're about to get up out of there.
Why you say don't be surprised?
Because to me, I know that Duke can beat this team.
You really do?
Yeah.
I like Duke too, but come on now.
Duke, I'm telling y'all, watch. Duke is going to beat Houston.
Okay.
And Duke can make it to the Final Four.
You think they're that good?
Yeah.
He thinks they're that good every year. He thinks they're that good every year.
Listen, I've been a Duke fan since I was a child. I love Duke and UNC. I can do that. Let me just say, for the people watching, I'm a Big Ten girl. I have no dog in the ACC fight between UNC and Duke. So I like them both. My father's originally from North Carolina, so I grew up loving both of those schools and hating NC State. That's where it comes from, my dad. So I follow both teams all season. Of course, they take a back seat to my Spartans, but if I'm not cheering for my Spartans, I'm rooting for Duke or UNC. When they play each other, I just go back and forth and wear their shirts to the game and go watch it with whoever I want to watch it with. One year I have on Duke, next year I have on UNC. It's not a big deal to me. That being said, I follow Duke. I don't know. I don't know how they're winning. but they're winning. And I don't see it. I just don't. It's like one of those unassuming teams, you know? Like they're not flashy, but they're winning.
And they can shoot
I'm
that three
just
ball
shocked.
very well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this Duke team is a little weird compared to teams of the past, and I think sometimes we've been holding on to the legacy of Coach K for so long, and having that expectation. We're in a transitional period, and I believe that it might be somewhat of a long shot because Houston is a very good team, but I think that Duke, it's just something special about this Duke team. I'm not saying that they're going to win it all, but I think that they're special enough and can really build upon this season. So that's why I said I think that they really will beat Houston on Friday.
I take it that your compadres here don't agree with you.
They never agree
never
anything.
Never.
One of our old one of our friends of the show, D, they love it when I'm right about Duke and he has to come on here and eat crow. So that's the only thing that they like about the whole Duke thing.
Okay.
But let me ask you this last question. Last week we talked about John Calipari, and Byron thinks that he should go. I haven't talked
Come to Maryland. We
talked to Kravate about it or Roger, but I know me and Byron have talked, and he thinks that Calipari needs to go.
No,
but
I agree.
You do, well. What about like Bill Self, Izzo? They haven't won a national championship, but yet these guys are still prominent within the college basketball. So why is it that Calipari has to go just because he's had a couple of bad seasons where he's been eliminated? He's still a damn good coach.
I think he's disconnected now. I think at one point in time he was the one and done king. Like he was finding a way with getting these 19-year-olds together and going on a championship run, or at least going somewhat deep into the the NCAA tournament. But now I think it's important to listen to the press conferences and listen to what he says. He said it's not about winning championships. It's about getting his players drafted. No. Kentucky, over the years, at least over and my time watching college basketball, has been one of those true blue blood, and not just because it's blue, but a true blue blood and in the NCAA. They don't get beat. The teams like that are not supposed to get beat in the first round. That's just not supposed to happen. The talent gap is too big, is entirely too big. And I feel like over the years, he does not adjust well. He continues to let whatever's going wrong continue to go wrong. It's like he doesn't want to stop his own bleeding. But in his saying that it's not about championships, Coach K would never. Tom Izzo would never. Bill Self would never. It's about winning. That's how you keep your job. Now, put your guys into the draft. That's how you recruit. That's how you recruit. You know what I'm saying? It goes hand in hand. But to sit up there and lie in front of the good people in this NCAA tournament, and it's not about championships, you lost your mind. You absolutely lost your mind. And I cannot get with that, me being a fan of the Kentucky Wildcats.
He's doing better than what's the guy at St. John's?
Rick Pitino.
Pitino. I mean, I think he's a little more connected than Pitino, though.
And that's not good either. But Pitino got his own. He got his own wild stuff going on with him. You know what I'm saying? So I much rather be closer to Coach K than Rick Pitino any day.
So who wins it all? And who wins it all on the women's side as well before we get you out of here?
Who, me? I have no clue who's going to win it all. I really don't. I'm more into the women's NCAA tournament this year.
As
than
you
the
should
men.
be. As you should
I
be.
really am. And I believe South Carolina gonna win. I really do.
That's it.
Are they gonna smash them,
And-
stack them, and pin them like Roman?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. In fact, I hope so, actually. And I'm not a fan of anything South Carolina. In fact, Don Staley is the only thing I'm a fan of in that whole state. Just her. And I'm actually rooting for them to win. My girls got knocked out in the first round. So did Ohio State. So we don't have that many Big Ten. Let me see. I don't know who won today. I didn't look at it before I came
Iowa
in.
won. USC is about to win. Basically, in both tournaments, all your 1s and 2s are still alive. So all the blue bloods.
Did Indiana win? Did the Indiana women win?
I saw they were in a
They
close
played
game.
Oklahoma, and they were tied when the
think
last
they
time I
won.
looked.
Let me.
But anyway, for the men, my Spartans lost. My Dayton Flyers lost. You know, I'm from Dayton, so I still support them.
Indiana did win. But
Illinois and
plays South Carolina.
Purdue.
Oh,
Illinois and Purdue are the last ones left in the Big Ten in the men. So I'll ride behind them.
Yes,
But
big
I
shout out to
just
Brady.
I don't think they're talented enough to win it all though. Who's the number one seeds?
UConn. UConn's the number 1 overall seed on the men's side. They're
Dominating.
kind of like South Carolina. They've won every game by double digits. I think 8
And
straight
Houston.
double-digit wins.
And who's the other three?
Houston,
Houston.
Purdue, and North Carolina.
Hmm.
Yeah, all 1 and 2 seeds are still alive. So all the blue bloods are still there. You still got all your
Okay.
1s and 2 seeds.
I'm hoping it's Purdue. I'm gonna
Okay.
ride with my Big Ten.
Okay.
And I know my friends down here are gonna be mad when they hear it, but I'm rolling with Purdue. Boilermakers.
They got a big game against Gonzaga. The winner of that, though, look out. That's going to be a good
You
one.
know what? I'm sick of Gonzaga, man. I when they're in the tournament, I just get mad when they're in the tournament. Like,
Because you know they're gonna win. That's what you know they're
what's
gonna win.
this school? Gonzaga. You know, that's how I look at them. But anyway, but I want to go back to the Calipari question. I didn't answer that question. You raised some good points about what he's not doing and why he should go. And I did not think about it in that way. But are the Kentucky fans, are they calling for him to go? Are they
It's 30 million reasons why they can't get rid of him.
Oh, well.
Well, I know a lot.
I like the man. I just do.
Yeah, I like him
like
too.
him.
I like him too. I want
I
him to
like
come to
what
Maryland
he
so he
means
can
to the
try to get
players.
recruits.
I
He
like
just
the
wanted
way
to come to
the
Maryland. That's
players still love
Yes,
him.
we need recruits.
And you know what? Him getting bounced in the first round, I don't care because I'm not a Kentucky fan. So, but I'm a Calipari fan. See, so
And they don't got any NBA guys this year. They don't have any Tyrese Maxey's or Devin Booker's or Anthony Davis or John Wall. They ain't got none of them walking through the door. The NBA draft is not going to be very entertaining this year.
well, he's not going to be able to get all of them because of NIL.
And that's what we saw with Nick Saban in college football, Sharon. That's why he left. Because he said it's
I know. I know.
That when it started.
Do you know that I talk to people about NIL all the time and they clown me because I'm not a fan of it.
You shouldn't be.
I understand.
When I say that it's going to negatively impact the game, they don't believe me.
That's what I say too.
Right? And they don't agree. So I'm like, well, okay. And I understand the whole slavery and yes, they made money off the backs of these players, these kids, because they're kids. You notice how the name changes to kids? They're called kids when they want to say they deserve the NIL. They're called grown when they want to do
young
something.
Men. They're young men.
They're young men then. But
Mhm.
when they're talking about this slavery that's going on, oh, the kids, let those kids have money.
Them boys.
Let me tell you something. I would love to come back on the show with you. to discuss this topic because
Okay.
I've done it before on a couple other shows. And I have been argued down to the teeth that I am wrong and that I should want these players, mostly black, to get paid. And I said, who said I don't want them to get paid? I didn't say I don't want them to get paid. I don't think they should be paid now. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they shouldn't get paid. And I don't like NIL. I don't like the transfer portal.
Oh,
And because of those, the game, especially NCAA football and basketball, is going to be negatively affected. The product on the field and on the court is going to be diminished over time. It's already starting, which is the reason why Calipari got bounced in the first round. I'm just here to tell you. That's where it starts, because Kentucky, their people, their boosters have money. They ain't got that Texas money. They don't have that California money. They don't have that oil money. They don't have that tech money. They don't have it, y'all. I'm just saying. And so you're going to see where all the money is, and that's who's going to be winning. And so Gonzaga might be winning. If they get the right players with the right NIL, they'll be another champion. And Duke will be last. See? Because now it's not controlled by the talent that or the coaching. It's actually literally determined by who has the best NIL package, which has nothing to do with your talent as a coach or a player or GM or athletic director. Doesn't have anything. You have none of them have control over winning.
and that's why
the players have control of their pockets, but no one has control over winning. Now, if you cool with that, then fine. So they said that I was wrong about that, though, because they said the past 2 seasons have been very exciting seasons. They've been balling. I said, the NIL and transfer portal only been out 3 or 4 years, fool. Give it time. I said it's going to be a progression of time. You watch what I tell you. Everything that I predicted so far about the game has happened. It's starting to happen.
Look at the NCAA tournament.
Did y'all heard about that player that left Alabama, decided he was going to go to Iowa? He went to Iowa, got his NIL check, stayed 2 or 3 months, 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, and then decided, oh, I'm going back to Alabama. Guess what? He does not have to give that NIL check back to Iowa. And you're here, I'm listening to these analysts talking about, I don't think that this is going to become a trend. Oh, you do? Are you that dumb?
Tripping.
In this copycat land that we live in?
Tripping.
Oh, shoot.
I think something's going to happen though. Like something crazy is going to happen to the point where they're going to have to change some rules. It's coming.
It's absolutely coming.
Yeah,
and look, Miss Sharon, you ain't even got to come back to talk about this because I don't think nobody here disagrees. I've been banking the table every week about that damn transfer portal and the NIL. But listen, it's crazy because I feel like they should be paid, but it is a free for all, and it is not good for it's not good for the tradition of these college programs and what they mean, because now it's about who has the deepest pockets. It's not about recruiting. No, well, it's like you got to recruit 2 times as hard because you got to recruit your own players. Yeah. And I think that's what kicked Nick Saban out the door. He's like, yo, my player's not even safe. Nah, if that transfer portal, they go right in that thing and play next year and get more money. Only because they got offered more money.
That's right. And how can you coach when you don't know?
How do you coach like that?
When the pieces moving like that.
And don't piss one of these millennials off, Miss Mullen, because they're gonna transfer tomorrow. They out. They leaving once you piss them off.
And there's no penalty. And Raj, just what Raj said, I completely agree. Something's going to change. It's either going to be that transfer portal, like they got to be stricter rules, because it's like free agency. That's why I compare it to. It's like free agency all year long.
Yes.
Because there's no penalty. Because remember we used to transfer, you used to have to sit.
Right.
Sit a year.
None of that. I could play the next. I go to a couple practices and I'm in the game. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Cavante, you got 30-year-olds in the NCAA tournament that have been in school for 7
Not
years,
doing
got
it.
2 COVID years, got a redshirt year, got a McDonald's All-American year, and they get an NIL deal. And they playing against 18-year-olds.
Especially in football, all the draft, and we'll get into it later, Byron. It's a lot of rookies that's going to be old, or classified as old. They're like 23, 24, being rookies in the NFL because of the transfer portal. It's COVID too. COVID's a thing too, but also the transfer portal.
And you see what that's going to do, depending on their position. That's going to shorten their NFL career,
right?
Because they're starting older.
Yep.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So how is this better? I'm just like, y'all don't see. It's not better for the game. I am a sports fan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I love the game.
Yeah.
I love it. Not like, love it.
Yeah.
And as a fan, I want to see good product. I don't want to see this crap. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here for crap. If I want to see crap, I'll go down to the park and see these neighborhood people. If I want to see crap, I don't want to see that. I want to see good basketball, good football. That's what I want to see. And the other sports that I love.
Or you can watch the NBA All-Star game.
God.
Don't even get me started on that. That's LeBron's fault. I don't care no more. But anyway.
Oh God.
Definitely gonna bring you back if you want to.
Yeah.
We gotta bring you back for the NBA playoffs because that'll be revving up in about a month.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Before you get out of here,
go Lakers.
Tell the people how to keep up with you. I know Raj love to go Lakers. I'll put your website up at the bottom. Yes.
Keep up with me on all social media. I am at The Chocolate Writer. And my website is right there in the comments. TheChocolateWriter.com. I'm Sharon Mullen, SharonMullen on Facebook. I'm even on Threads as The Chocolate Writer. So I'm everywhere. That's how you find me.
We appreciate you staying up late with us. We appreciate your knowledge. You can wave the towel if you like.
I forgot one more thing.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
And I do have a podcast that I have on my own. It's called Did You Hear What Chocolate Said? I just started my 4th season. And you can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. They got rid of Google Podcasts, which is the stupidest thing I ever heard. But anyway.
YouTube is a weird place. That's all we're going to say.
Yeah, you can find me there. And I'm not on iHeartRadio yet. I'm trying to get on there. And Prime Music. I'll get on there soon. So yeah, go check out Did You Hear What Chocolate Said? I'm pretty proud of my podcast.
We are proud of you. Thank you for spending your International Women's History Month with us. Put your hands together for the Chocolate Writer, Miss Sharon Miller, one more time. Being on the Flex podcast. She got a terrible towel somewhere.
I'm gonna leave it down this time.
I'm gonna be back with us to talk about the NBA playoffs, get into this LeBron debate. But she is Laker Nation, so Raj and Dre. We'll see if she believes that the Lakers can make one more run.
I believe.
And get out the play-in.
I believe.
But the Houston Rockets, don't look now, are in your review. Jalen Green, now that baby's making him play like he's Kobe Bryant out here. But I'll leave that alone for another day.
Well, we ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that because we'll do that next time.
I ain't worried about Houston. I ain't worried about them.
We're going to get into that. Thank you so much, Sharon. We appreciate you once again, and we'll have you back real soon, talk NBA and much more. Make sure y'all check out. Thank you again. Have a good night, everybody. Get your hands together one more time. For Sharon Mullen, another illustrious guest here on the Flex Zone Podcast. Make sure you check out her website, Chocolate Writer, and all that good stuff as well. Cravante, a lot of great content, a lot of great things with Ms. Mullen as always. But we got to get goofy to end the show, my brother. You ready to do it?
Let's do it, brother.
Let's go ahead. It's time for Cravante's Goofies of the Week. Let's see if Goofy's working back again. Let's see.
Gosh, something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy.
What up? What up? What up, good people? Welcome to Goofies of the Week. Hey, Goofies of the Year, Byron.
I'm sorry. It's always it's been a crazy year already. It's a year worth of goofies already.
Listen, man, we probably need to break up 2024 into at least 2 halves because my gosh, I only want to know what the back half of the year has in store because the first half has been crazy. And to think that the back half may top the first half.
Wait a minute, this ain't even half. You only a quarter of the
We're
way.
a quarter. Oh my gosh, you're right. You want to break it up into 4s, yo? But all right. So welcome, good people, to Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex On. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to let me tell the good people what I thought was goofy. Just recently, this past week, or whatever we could come up with. I deal with 2 types of goofiness. How we have the low level of goofiness where we come across something, we usually laugh, we kiki, we ha, we do all that in the hopes that it stays on that level where we could just laugh about it and move on. But oftentimes that goofy turns to a bigger goofy, which we call the high level of goofiness. Well, we got to come together. We got to come to the table. We got to sit around the round table and congregate and figure out why this person, place, thing, or what have you is so goofy, and how can we get it to be less goofy? And oftentimes it's usually nothing we can do, because ultimately you got to do better. So I have a couple things. I have a couple things on the docket, and they're both because of the different implications of it. It's very, very goofy. Like, we're talking high level goofy. So the first thing is, I don't know if you guys have heard or not, and those of you that are following the NCAA women's college basketball bracket, there was a hiccup that happened, and there was some movement of the officiating crew, the referees. The NCAA switches officials at halftime of the NC State and Chattanooga game over background conflict. An official was pulled at halftime of Saturday's NC State and Chattanooga first round women's NCAA tournament game, a change that typically only happens if an official is injured during the course of the game, which did not happen. Now, in regards to the change, the NCAA gave reporters on site a statement that said it was learned after the game had started, that umpire 2, Tommy Paris, had a background conflict that, if known, would prevent her from working that assigned game. Now, the decision was made to move Angelica Suffren, who had worked the first game of the session. So basically what happened was they apparently found out that on Paris' LinkedIn page, she received a master's degree in public administration from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Now, how did this happen? Officials are not supposed to have any conflicts with either team in the game. In this situation, both the NCAA should have made sure she was not assigned to this game, and Paris should have disclosed her own personal conflict. First round officiating assignments were delivered to officials the previous weekend before the game. It's unclear why neither the NCAA knew this information, nor why Paris didn't disclose this information. Now, to make matters even crazier, yes, this gets deeper. Paris officiated the regular season Mississippi State Chattanooga game on December 2nd, according to the game's box score. When asked to clarify the situation, the NCAA said in a statement to The Athletic, "We ask for school affiliations to be disclosed when an official is being considered for championship competition or participation. In this instance, it was not disclosed." Now, so basically, this happened twice because it happened during the regular season and then it happened during the tournament. As big as the NCAA is, because we all know before this whole NIL transfer portal thing came about, how crazy they was on players for not doing certain things and trying to suspend players for taking meals or signing autographs or what have you. And you forget to do a background check on your officials, on your officiating crew. I feel like this is that I can't even put this on Paris, really and truthfully, because the NCAA is this big billion-dollar machine. You mean to tell me you slipped up and you didn't know that she got a master's degree from Chattanooga, Tennessee? Or is it that you didn't really care? I'm having trouble you figuring that out. But the NCAA doing this type of slip up is wild. And it's also unfortunate because it happened on the women's side of the bracket. And it's like, I don't know, did they even really care? I don't know. That's kind of disturbing that they slipped up on that. So the NCAA, please get it together. Now, so official got pulled at halftime when usually it only happens due to injury, but it happened due to goofiness this time. Doesn't happen often, but of course the NCAA found a way to make the list. Now that's one. Of course, it's a high level goofy, but the next one, for those of y'all that have not heard, the NFL has been proposing a lot of different changes that's going to take place this season for the 2024 season, and the one that's getting wild, crazy reviews is the NFL owners unanimously approve a rule that bans the hip drop tackle. Now, they're trying to eliminate that from the game. It says NFL team owners on Monday unanimously approved a rule that bans players from using a swivel technique to tackle an opponent. And now this violation will result in a 15-yard penalty for players who decide to continue to tackle in that manner. It's interesting, and we were talking about it earlier when Miss Sharon was on. They're saying they're trying to prevent injuries, but they're failing to prevent injuries in other ways. It's like you're trying to prevent injuries right here, but you don't care on this side. You're trying to prevent injuries. This drop hip tackle, whatever it's called, swivel tackle, whatever it's called, but you continue to expand the regular season and adding more games, which ultimately, I don't care what numbers you point to, more games is going to equal more injuries. But this is the one y'all unanimously decide and agree on. Very, very, very weird. Yeah. So, and also, let's see. I have one more thing. The mainly the people, the defenders are absolutely outraged. So, see, I got a couple of them. So basically, The NFLPA put out a statement, and they said the players oppose any attempt by the NFL to implement a rule prohibiting a swivel hip drop, in quotes, tackle. While the NFLPA remains committed to improvements to our game with health and safety in mind, we cannot support a rule change that causes confusion for us as players, for coaches, for officials, and especially for fans. We call on the NFL again to reconsider implementing this rule. Now, word on the street is that the NFL is going to send out videos to all these teams telling them which way to, what this tackle looks like and what the player should, this how the player should not be tackled. Look at that baby D. So that they're apparently sending videos out and showing players like, this is what this tackle looks like. But the video that I want to see? I want to see a video that how you expect a defender to tackle a moving target without any flags coming up. How do you think somebody should tackle? Send a video of that. How should defenders make tackles? They can't go high. Cool, head injury, CTE. We cool, we understand that. But you can't go low. Because that causes injuries. And you can't do this swivel hip drop tackle. Once upon a time, the name of the game was get him down. Get him down. That's what you're supposed to do as a defender. Get him to the ground. What are you supposed to do as a defender in this professional football league? And you can't do the biggest portion of your job because the NFLs continue nitpicking how you do something. And I agree, just like what the NFLPA said, you're confusing everybody. You're going to confuse y'all approve this rule, but y'all going to confuse officials. Because what are we talking about? A tackle is supposed to be a tackle. We know what an egregious tackle looks like. Now you're telling me because of how they bring a defender down to the ground, like that's egregious now? Is that what we're doing? Absolutely absurd. And if I don't know what the NFLPA can do about this. Like, what are their rights in regards to like possibly appealing this or what have you? Or are they? I don't know if they're completely like helpless in this matter. But this is beyond goofy because it's hard enough to play defense as it is in this NFL that's completely geared to the offensive side of the ball and geared to how we were saying earlier, and Roger was saying like nobody wants to see Aaron Rodgers get hurt on the third play of the game of the season, really, and miss the whole season. We don't want to see that. But you're taking away the physicality of the game, which this game was built on. Now, oh shoot. You're taking away this. This game is not. This game is becoming more and more soft, and less like football. So soon, why just take the pads off and we could run a big 7-on-7, and we can find something to do with the linemen because the linemen need job because the linemen really don't have work in a 7-on-7 drill. But we need to find a better. There has to be a better way. We can't keep doing this because we haven't had a rule favor the defense since the mid 2000s. And that was when Mag came out, when the hit stick came out. Like, we ain't had nothing that geared towards the defense ever, really. But ever since the 2000s, man, is every year. When Tom Brady got hurt that one year and he missed the whole season, a rule came out. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, whole season, a rule comes out. It is wildly unfortunate, and I know defenders defensive coaches of all types, DB, linebacker, D-line, defensive-minded head coaches. This is going to be a headache. Now, what's going to be interesting is how often do you think this type of play is going to be called and flagged? Because again, like I said, you're confusing. Like officials going to have to go back to school on this one, because I feel like this is something that's so small and minuscule. Like I don't think it really matters in the totality of the game. But hey, what do I know? I just know it's goofy though. So that's all I got. Y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great, and these goofies are on the wrong end of it. Gots to do better, guys. Gots to do better.
Of course. Something wrong here.
Thank you for that, Cravante, and your goofies of the week. It'll definitely be interesting as we get down here
Well, now that's goofy.
to see what happens as we get to this hip drop. I don't know how they're going to do this, but very interesting. See how this plays out. Big Raj, we got a very, very special interview tomorrow. This will be a Tuesday night Flex Zone special edition. You want to let the people know what we got going on tomorrow evening around 10 p.m.
Yes, around 10 p.m. Hopefully this time we have Rita Hubbard from 105.7 coming on the show. We're going to recap some of this Baltimore Ravens news, especially with Harbaugh's conference earlier today. You know, what are our thoughts on Derrick Henry? You know, what are our thoughts going into the NFL draft and some other things as well. So stay tuned for that. 105.7's own Rita Hubbard will be on the show. And it should be a very fun one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's going to be a great show coming up tomorrow. So stay tuned for that.
Yes. Dre, you with us? What can the people expect next week, episode 434? Maybe
The Flex Zone logo, basically.
you can expect us. Next week is the last show before WrestleMania. Flex Zone podcast wise, Raj will be talking about that, I'm sure. You're going up there to Philly, so we'll get your anticipation. And after we saw what happened tonight and see what happened the rest of the week on SmackDown and social media. Yeah, tomorrow, Rita Hubbard, 105.7 The Fan, talking Ravens and NFL stuff as well. Cravante, looks like we got a list of draft profiles. We're going to start getting to those coming up real soon. The draft is a month away from today.
Yeah, man. Good times, man. When we get together, we knock out a good 5, 6, whatever we could do in a night, and then we put the things all out, man. And it's about that time again. We got some really good prospects that we're going to talk about, and I can't wait to break them down with you, brother.
Likewise, brother. Thank you as always. Can't wait to do it yet again. This week, as we mentioned, tomorrow we will be live with Rita around 10 p.m. We will be here on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. And we will be here the rest of the week because we got Orioles previews. The first one dropped today. We got more previews coming the rest of the week. And Thursday, I'll probably be live after the opening day ceremony and festivities in the game. Orioles post-game show. We'll be talking about the first game and just the season itself. Come join me live. Hit the bell to know when all those videos drop as well. And as we head into WrestleMania season, of course, we'll be live for both nights of WrestleMania as well. It's a Flex Zone podcast, fellas. Only place giving sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Hope you want to acknowledge that at the sports podcast table. Flex Zone podcast on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, the Flex Zone One. Big shout out again to the one, the only Miss Sharon Mullen, the chocolate writer. Make sure you guys check out her at the chocolate writer and check out her website, thechocolatewriter.com. She'll be back this spring, NBA playoffs, talking Lakers, LeBron, and all the fun stuff going on with the NBA playoffs as they are the play-in about 3 weeks from today as well. Next Monday, we'll be live episode 434 of the podcast, talking WrestleMania. Looking forward to the final four of the NCAA men's and women's. For Cavante, co-founder, senior producer. Andre Melton is executive producer and co-founder as well. Social media producer. Big Raj, the meat man. God's favorite host, yours truly, associate producer as well. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody who watched us on Twitter or X, Facebook, YouTube, all of those things. Please, Raj, you want to give them a PSA real quick what they need to do if they haven't subscribed on YouTube or all that good stuff.
Yeah, I see 34 people watching total. If you have not, please head over to the Flex Zone podcast on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. It helps out with the algorithm. And yeah, man, just keep on. Continue to watch our videos. You know, let us know what you think in the comment section. And give your thoughts. For real, especially on this Diddy thing. Yeah, I want to hear some of y'all thoughts. This has been a wild day. A really wild day as far as that is concerned. So just let us know what you think.
Yes, please let us know what you think. We'll be clipping the content from the Diddy situation, from other topics we talked about tonight. It'll be on the channel if you missed it. Go ahead over to the YouTube, the Flex On Podcast. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, comment, let us know what you think. For Drake, Cavante, and Roger, and for our guest, Miss Sharon Mullen once again. Flex On Podcast, episode 433 in the books. We'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you hit that bell, hit that like button on the way out. And until next time, we gone, y'all. Peace.
Peace.